Yeah, when we have some small talk, and like, it's okay, gotcha. Advantage is just hitting somebody else. I mean, just something new scheme, new challenge of a different player, things like that. We didn't do a lot of, when you play a game, there's a lot of self-scout and things like that. This is about us doing our job, going out and playing our fundamentals, technique, our scheme, those type of things, and not really, we're not scouting these guys or game planning them, so to speak. We're just playing our game today and just seeing what our guys can do. So it is a good evaluation.
Good morning, too.
Good morning. Good morning.
Ryan, there seemed like some good pressure against Kansas City. Were you happy with that on Saturday night?
Yeah, the guys did a good job pass rushing. They did. I thought our coverage was really good, too. So the combination of the coverage and the rush together, the guys played together. They played hard. Obviously, there's a lot of things we need to clean up, but overall, it was a good first start.
Eric returns off the PUP list. What has, over the last few months, knowing he's been on the Physicality reform list, what have been your interactions with Eric, but also how long have you, known him, per se, one-on-one?
Yeah, so he's been here since, he came here in the off-season, and so we spent a lot of time together, just kind of in and out, have breakfast or lunch, you see him around the building. Awesome guy, football guy. He's a really good person, really into it, helps the players a lot. 10-year career, a lot of success, a couple of Super Bowls that he's gone to, and so you get that whole experience. It's invaluable. Looking forward to getting him back, get him through some walkthroughs and things like that, but he's been all locked in. Couldn't say enough good things about him, really.
You didn't know him before you both got here?
No. When did we sign him? In February, March-ish, somewhere. Yeah, something like that. So he's been around. Give the guy a lot of credit. He's been around a lot of time, just doing everything he can to get back, and he has been helping our young players a lot. So it's been good to see. I'm sorry.
Gibson, the safety.
Yeah. So obviously, new player. Just got him a couple days ago. Some experience. Very athletic. Smart player. Sees the game really well on the back end. Can play down safety. Can play in the middle of the field. So there's a lot of things, but we're still getting to know each other a little bit, and with the scheme and everything. And so just a couple of days. So far so good.
How has Chad Mimma been for you in training camp?
Yeah, good. I think he's had a good camp. Improved from the beginning of camp. Made some plays the other night, which was really good to see. In the run game, and also covering some guys and out in space. So that was really good. One of the things, we didn't rush Chad very much, but he provides some pass rush for us too, up the middle and also off the edge. Smart player, does a lot of jobs. Special teams, can play on the ball, stack back. So we're just continuing to get better with him, but he's doing a pretty good job.
The time you've had with Trayvon so far, what are your impressions of him, and compare maybe to some of the guys you've had in the past?
Sure.
Like that.
Don't like to do a lot of comparisons. Guys are different and things like that. But we'll tell you this: he has everything that you need in terms of a skill set to be a very successful player in this league. Tall, he's got great speed, he's twitchy, strong player. He gets out of trouble really well. He understands the game. We're playing him a little bit more hand in the grass, up the field type thing. I think that's going to help him, in terms of setting the edge of the defense and the run game, things like that. But I tell you this, credit to him, he works extremely hard. I mean, he's out there early, every little thing, and he's trying to do it exactly right. He's a perfectionist, which you really like. And then, he goes out there and he does everything you ask him to do. And then there's, you'll turn on the tape, he's like, wow, you didn't see that in practice, and you see it in the tape, and you're like, man, he made that play. And so there's that element to the player too. So, just being excited about him, just being around him every day.
You got a game of live action under your belt with this crew. How well do you think they've acclimated, and what has been the key for them doing so to your scheme?
Yeah, focus on us. It's about us. It's about the Jags. It's about the individual player at the position. Doesn't matter, whatever position. This is from Coach Peterson. It's always been about us. It'll always be about us. Every single. We don't focus on the opponent. We focus on our fundamentals, our technique, our scheme, execution, things like that. We haven't changed a lot in what we do in terms of the installation and kept everything pretty much the same for the guys. And so that's what we evaluate what we do every day, how we act, think, energy, effort, all those type of things. But it will always be about us. And if we keep it like that, then the guys can continue to get better instead of focusing on too many other things.
What's your feeling about your depth and your pass rush with regard to Travis Gibson was brought here specifically to provide that? And how much do you think Armstead can sort of help that whole thing?
Well, I think Eric can help a lot. I mean, he's a really good pass rusher, so that'll add to that group. But I don't think you ever can get just, hey, we've got enough, because you always want more, right? And so there's other players at other positions that we may be pressuring or blitzing to help, and not just have 4 guys rushing all the time. But that being said, I do think that we do have some good rushers, some guys that can win some individual one-on-one matchups, and a lot of the times we try to create a one-on-one for one guy here, one guy there in the matchup that we like. But so we do have a bunch of guys that can do that. You add Eric to that mix, and it's just another rusher that can, where do you put him? An end inside, and so now they have to guess where he's going to be every time.
You get the feeling that Travis being reunited with Shuey will sort of be can help elevate his game a little bit more.
Well, that helps, right? You past relationships, your knowledge of what the player can do, and you kind of figure out, what his strengths and what he can do to really help within the scheme and things like that. So that's, Bill, Coach Shuey's been really good about, hey, this is my experience with them, and here's kind of how we played them, and so we've tried to take that and continue on with that role.
Ryan, a lot of guys put on weight in the offseason or added pretty significant weight. Even Devin, the linebacker spot, but a lot of guys up front. Can that be a tough thing sometimes to get used to? And how did you see the guys get used to that in practice and then the game the other night?
Sure, it's always we try to put on good weight, muscle and not bad weight. So when you're looking at them, like if you look at Trayvon, Devin, they don't look out of shape. They're just bigger. The muscle that they've put on, they've done a really good job in the weight room. And so that's what we always, bigger is not necessarily bad weight. It's good, we want the muscle. And a lot of times the guys will get faster because it's really good weight. They're getting stronger, they're able to use their hands better. Sometimes the game is easier because when you hit people and you added 10 pounds, it's like, wow, hey, I'm a little bit stronger here. It gives you a little bit of confidence. So we just talk about the guys, and a lot of times as you get mature and your body matures, you're going to gain some of that weight. So it's a combination of everything.
Christian Braswell's effort on that fumble the other night, does that kind of sum up what you want to see from the entire defense?
Absolutely. That was a heck of a play, wasn't it? I mean, he just the whole play, everything that happened, you guys saw it. I mean, in the way he finished it and the emphasis to take the football away. I mean, it was a pretty big-time football play. And so, we showed our guys, hey, let's just, never give up on the play. And there's so many coaching things that you can say about that particular football play. But it was a really good play by him. Great emphasis of just taking the football and then turning it into offense. And you saw, the defense turn and run, and now we're the offense and going down and scoring everything. So it was pretty cool to see.
To piggyback off of that, there's a thought that Braswell and Ventrell Miller have both had really good camps. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. The body of work's been pretty good. Haven't been like a bad day. It's always been, the guys keep getting better and better and better. It's a credit to the players. They've really, those two guys and with the whole, they've really focused in on doing their job and fundamentals and technique at their position within the scheme. And those two guys are a great example of, where we started OTAs, and then, the last couple of weeks you've seen them take the next step and the next step and the next step, and then on Saturday night they made some really good football plays and things that they've done in practice. So as we're watching it, it's like, hey, they did that in practice, and then there it shows up in the game. So it's really cool to see.
Another guy who I think was one of those where he was a project inherently when he got here, Miles Cole.
Yeah.
When you watch the tape back, did he flash as much as maybe the box score showed?
He did. He played hard. The thing, okay, so if you just look at him, he did, he played hard, came off the ball, played with good fundamentals, pad level. He was he played violent at the point of the attack. His effort was really good. There's a couple effort plays that showed up in there. He made a couple tackles, just effort plays. So it's really good to see a young player, you know, really buying into the effort part, the physical part, the violent part of the game, and you know, we just got to continue to go. Take another one.
The DB room, you guys have signed Amos over the last week. You signed Gibson within the last few days. How does that change your coaching strategy when the installation was reasonably wrapping up around this time of year, like when they're behind the guys who've been there all off season?
So Chris Richard, Corey Robinson, and Mike Gray are all in that room, and so what they'll do is they'll take them at certain times of the day and have extra meetings with them, and within but the schedule is. There are times in the day that they can fit in an extra meeting or and when it's one-on-one, it goes a lot faster than when you're with the whole group. So those guys have done a really good job. And then when you watch them, they'll be standing by the coaches on the field at practice, and they're kind of coaching them through, hey, this is what's happening on that rep. So we're speeding up the learning curve. But I tell you, Amos the other day, you know, he was out there flying around. It's like, man, it feels like he's been here for a while now. Gibson will be the same thing. Smart players, you know, they'll be able to fit right in and contribute, you know, where they can in that. So it is a little bit tougher. But then the other thing is they're vets, and so you know, they've done this before and they've played a lot of NFL football. So that also has something to go into it. So I appreciate you guys. You guys have a great day. Okay. All right. Thank you.